Hi, and welcome to this short webinar about stress. What I'm going to do is briefly describe some of the symptoms of stress and then make a few suggestions about how you can help yourself to ameliorate some of the symptoms. If you come to see me, I can tell you this in more detail, but this is just a quick run through and a little few tips that will help you. So let's start by recognizing that we all get stressed from time to time. Everyone gets stressed, and indeed, stress isn't a wholly bad thing. We need to be somewhat stressed in order to do things which are challenging, which are important. You might think of how at work, if you've got to do a presentation, for example, you do get quite keyed up, you're tense, and you need some of that to be ready to go. But if you're in a constantly stressed state, it's actually very depleting for you. So if you find you're constantly feeling anxious or depressed, then you might need help. Now, what are some of the signs of this? Well, there are 10 common signs of being overly stressed, and they include perhaps drinking too much, medicating with alcohol to relieve some of those symptoms, which might feel like a short-term solution, but in the long term will probably lead to a level of depression. Eating too much or not eating enough, having a disturbed appetite. So again, you're not doing yourself any favours. You're not going to feel terribly well. Sleeping patterns being disturbed, that can be insomnia, but sometimes it can be you actually are sleeping too much. Often you'll find your concentration is disturbed. It's very hard to do something like really get into a book or a film, and that can affect your work performance as well. Feeling very spaced out, disassociated from things can also be symptom, and again, I mean, that can lead to not really engaging with the world and beginning to feel quite run down, quite miserable. Being quick-tempered, irritable, or being morose and withdrawn, again, those mood changes can be a sign of stress. And then there can be physical signs as well. Sweating or shivering, feeling breathless, can be caused by other physical symptoms. So you should always have to get yourself checked out at the doctor, but can sometimes be caused simply by stress. So we can see really that being overstressed can make you feel pretty rotten, and in the long term, it's not doing your health much good because you are becoming depleted. You're gathering enough energy, and generally not feeling too good about the world. So I'm going to, in the next few minutes, show you a few simple techniques, actually 3 simple techniques to help yourself. So if you're finding that it's hard for you to carry out everyday tasks, if you're feeling that vicious circle, if you're finding it hard to function at work or hard to study if you're studying, or if you find looking after your family a pressure, then hopefully this is of help to you. So I'm going to use some hypnotherapeutic techniques to start with. If you come to see me, one of the first things I'll almost certainly do with you is teach you how to create a state of deep relaxation for yourself. Actually, I often describe that as giving your body and your mind a bit of a holiday, actually taking yourself off of that red alert, just having that really relaxing feeling can feel absolutely wonderful. But something you can do for yourself is begin to control your breathing, and you'll find just by controlling your breathing a little bit, you can help yourself feel calmer. Now, I should say before I show you how to do this very simple technique, if you're asthmatic, it's best to avoid this particular technique. If you want to contact me afterwards, I'll be able to suggest some other things for you. And in some cases, if you're asthmatic, you can use this, but for some people, it can actually exacerbate your condition. So I would advise against it. So what I'd like you to do as you're sitting there listening to me is get yourself as comfortable as you can and make your middle of your body as unrestricted as it can, so you can breathe nice and easily, nice and freely. Now, it's been shown that if you breathe out for a little longer than you breathe in, it sets up a parasympathetic response and you can't stop but calm down. So what I'm going to suggest you do is breathe in, counting to 7, then out, counting to 11. Now you can do this as slowly or as quickly as you want. The key thing is that you feel that it's easy to do. You're not forcing anything. So just practice for a little while, breathing in for 7, then out for 11. So count to 7 as you breathe in, then to 11 as you breathe out. Do that for a couple of minutes. That's all you need to begin to make yourself feel better. So I'm going to be quiet for a couple of minutes while you do that. Just get used to it. Breathing in for 7 and out for 11. Good, and I hope you feel a bit calmer, a bit more relaxed. Now, of course, one wonderful thing about that technique is you can do it anywhere at any time. So if you find you're feeling stressed in a meeting at work, or you're finding that you're in a traffic jam and you're stuck and you can feel your tension rising, just begin that simple breathing technique and you'll find you feel more at ease, more relaxed, feeling better, feeling calmer just by controlling your breathing. Okay, now you're feeling a little bit calmer. It's worth thinking about how you can begin to control your thinking. Now, often if you're over anxious, over stressed, you'll find that you slip into negative thinking patterns. You dwell on those very things which worry you, and things which, you know, objectively are probably not major problems, take up too much space in your mind. You find that you can't get your attention off of them. So I'm going to now show you a simple little technique which will help you feel more secure, safer. Again, this is something you can do at any time, anywhere. It's called the safe room technique. So what I want you to do is imagine that you're going to create a perfect room for yourself in your mind. This room is going to be the safest, most secure, most comfortable, happiest place you've ever been to. Now, the only limits are the limits of your imagination. So I'd like you to start by imagining you have a completely empty room. First thing to do is decide what size you want the room to be. It can be any size from small and cosy to huge and palatial. It's entirely up to you. The only limits are the limits of your imagination. So make the room the size you would like the room to be. And now we're going to begin to decorate the room. So start with the floor. Decide what you want to have on the floor. It can be wood or carpet or stone or something completely wacky, entirely up to you. But make a floor for the room. And now decide what you want to have on the walls. It could be paint, could be brick, could be glass. But decorate the walls, and perhaps you want to put a window in your room. Your room can be anywhere in the world, so your window can look out on anything you want. Mountains, a beach, a cityscape, anything at all. So make the walls exactly as you want. Now pay attention to the ceiling. Make the ceiling what suits you, and attend to the lighting. What sort of lighting do you want? Soft lighting, candles, bright lights, spotlights? What colour do you want the lighting to be? Again, the only limits are the limits of your imagination. So now you have a decorated, perfectly lit room. It's time now to furnish your room. So put the most comfortable, luxurious, perfect furniture in the room, perhaps. Or perhaps you want something else entirely. Do you want some plants? Do you want a nature room? Do you want to bring the outside into the room? Or do you want fancy new technology in the room? Whatever you want, but furnish the room now in exactly the way you want. But I would advise you make one place in the room where you can be completely comfortable. So a lovely, comfortable chair, or a lovely bed, or a couch, whatever. So furnish your room. Then when you've done that, just relax in your room. Perhaps there are some things you want to fix. Perhaps there are some little tweaks you want to make. Do those and notice how calm and safe you're beginning to feel in this lovely room of your mind. Feels good, doesn't it? And remember, you can return to this room anytime you want to. If you come to see me for a hypnotherapy session, I'll often get you to create this room and go to this room, and then we'll use that room as a lovely safe place where you can begin to explore and change some of the things which have been worrying you. Okay, now there are also some other techniques, some from cognitive behavioural therapy, some from other therapies that we can use to help you lessen your level of stress. So what I want to show you today is something called the 3 good things technique. This was developed by a famous psychotherapist called Martin Seligman, who found that by getting people who were depressed to focus on 3 good things which had happened to them in any one day. And doing that for about 10 days in a row, they actually began to significantly lessen those feelings of being depressed, being miserable. So what you can do is, before you go to bed every night, write down. Writing really helps here rather than just remembering. Write down 3 good things which happened to you during the day. They don't have to be massive things. They can be really simple things like having a laugh with a member of your family, or a good chat with a workmate, perhaps getting a parking space so you could nip into the shops, or enjoying the sun at lunchtime. Anything. It can be as small as you want, doesn't matter at all. But write down those 3 good things. Those 3 good things that happened to you in that day. You might want to add something here. You might want to decide that one of those things is going to be what you take to sleep with you. So you can decide at this point to focus on one of the things and let it accompany you as you drift down into sleep. You might even find yourself dreaming about it. So if you are feeling anxious, even a bit depressed, then try this for 10 days and you will be amazed at how much better you feel. So, just begun to introduce you to the idea that you can use your own powerful mind to control your body's stress responses. As you do that, you'll begin to develop a deeper understanding of how to keep problems in their place. You'll begin to feel in control again. That feels like massive freedom, feels like a real burden has been lifted from your shoulders. And it's all down to you. It's just directing your mind with a bit more purpose and in a new way, and you can get in control of this. So I hope that's been a little bit of a help, a little bit of an introduction for you to some of the ways in which I could help you. And I'd now like to offer you a free 15-minute Skype consultation for you or a friend or a relative if you think I could help you. So my email address is ann@wellthought.co.uk. If you just drop me an email, we can set something up. Or for the same address, at the same address, I will send you 3 good things sheets. What I've just described, actually send you a sheet so you can begin to record those things and give you a few more tips about how you can make that a really powerful tool. So I hope you've enjoyed this short webinar. I'll be running another one in December, so I'll email you about a week, 10 days before it's due to take place, and I hope to see you here again. Do go to my website, do email me, and I do hope that I'll be seeing you in the future. But goodbye for now.